What's up, everybody? It's Jay from Dirty Boy Tools, here to go over with you what I keep in my Knipex pouch. This is the large Knipex pouch. I made some modifications recently and put some new tools in there, so I'll share that with you guys today. Before I do that, remember to punch the like button and hammer the subscribe button. So, this Knipex kit originally comes with the 125 millimeter Knipex Cobra pliers. 125 millimeter, about 5 inches. And it comes also with the 150 millimeter Knipex pliers wrench, about 6 inches. I don't currently use the Knipex Cobras in this kit. I've heard good things about this. It just doesn't fit too well in my hands. It's small pliers, and I'm not a guy who has large hands, so it's not comfortable for me, and it doesn't really apply to what I do. I need a plier that's going to have a little bit more reach than this. 6 inches will work for small jobs, so I do use the pliers wrench, and everyone knows Knipex makes amazing pliers wrenches. Anyways, to go over everything in the toolkit, so I got my Knipex 150mm pliers wrench. Love this tool. Can take the place of a wrench in most situations. I also have a standard 6-inch wrench. Pretty much all my wrenches nowadays are crescent wrenches. They hold on tight. They're nice and stubby. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contacts with this type of wrench, as opposed to, let's say, a Fujiya wrench. You'll get 3 points of contact, and if you're lucky, but the prongs are kind of long, so sometimes I can't even reach the bolt properly to get 3 points, and I end up with 2, and it's not a good time. Up next, I have my Engineer pliers. These are the Engineer PZ56, made in Japan. For those that don't know, Engineer is a great company that makes amazing pliers and amazing tools, very innovative tools. One of the things I like a lot about them is they make screw removal pliers. I have this tool over the Fujiya pliers, which are some of my favorite pliers, only because of its screw removal ability. If the Fujiya had that, they would get replaced immediately, but screw removal pliers, they come in handy, especially on small jobs. And this is exactly what this kit is for, just small jobs. If I have anything big, I go to my bigger tool bag. Next up is these wire cutters I just got from Knipex. I never heard of them. They're on Amazon. They have nippers, they have strippers, they have a crimper attached to it. I don't do a lot of wiring, and if I do, I have other tools for that in my bigger tool bag. So I'm considering replacing this out with a much smaller cutter. This is the Igance, good brand on Amazon. I think this is the 5-inch. There's 6-inch, 7-inch, I think, on Amazon. Very cheap, but they're very effective pliers. So I'll think about switching it up. Maybe I'll save more space, and maybe I'll be able to have an easier time unpacking my tools with the space I saved. Up next is your standard cheap flathead Phillips combination pen driver tool. You could order like 10 of these for maybe $12. They double as a pry bar, they double as an awl if you need to punch a valve. I was actually punching valves earlier today with the Phillips head, trying to test some pneumatics out, see what's going on. So they come in handy. Overall, I do give these a lot of use, but I do also lose these, which is why I recommend purchasing the multi-packs of these. Let's see here. Next up is let's go over my pen. Milwaukee Ingersoll. Any Sharpie will do, or a paint pen will do. It's good for marking things like pneumatic hoses, marking fittings, wherever you're placing things. This really does help, comes in handy. Next up is a combination of things. So let's get this out. Whoops. Oh man, I'm struggling. Okay, there we go. So this is a ratchet from a company called Vim. Um, I believe this ratchet is advertised towards people who ride bicycles. So if you guys ever seen bicycle tools, they're very small, very compact. They're very cool because they need to be portable, and bicycles seem to have a variety of different fittings on them, so they need to be able to address all those fittings. Anyways, one of the tools that gets advertised towards them is this ratchet. It has this pass-through extender. See that white dot right there? And if you see this flat end right here, I line them up and I get a little pass-through. I get a little T-handle. I was actually using the T-handle today. The ratchet is effective. It works really well for smaller bits, smaller fittings. I'm not going to use it on anything crazy. I'm not going to use it on like 5/8 bolts. But the T-handle comes in handy because sometimes you might have to reach deep into something, and if you try to reach deep with a long extension, it's hard to keep the torque centered on the rotation, and if you don't do that properly, you end up with the strip bolt. So if you switch to the T-handle mode, you'll preserve your bolt and be able to make future repairs without getting that bolt stuck in there. Last thing I have in this kit, I have this little bit set that came with one of my Next Tool multi-tools. I took a pair of scissors, I cut off a couple of pieces because I don't need all the bits. So I have Phillips bits, flathead bits, and a socket bit as well. I don't have any sockets in this kit. I did previously have sockets. I don't need to really use them in my every day, every time carry, so I keep the sockets in my bigger tool bag. I also have this one bit. This is a 50 thousandths hex bit. It's useful for switches, different sensors. Believe it or not, this size bit is used in the dental industry as well for putting in fittings. Those are really the only two uses I can think of. Honestly, if I didn't have a sensor that needed this bit, I would love to get rid of this, but I need it. It's it helps with maintaining one of the machines I look over. Last thing I have is hex bits. I got them in metric and standard. Most of the machines in the factory I work in are standard. However, some of those machines, maybe they order parts, maybe they order valves, cylinders, things like that from companies overseas, in which case I'll need the metric. So these come in handy. This little bit extension came with it. I don't really use this, but it does add height to this piece of the ratchet, which makes it easier to grab. And maybe it'll come in handy in the future. It's there. So that's all I got for you guys today. I am also planning to add a little mini pen oiler to this toolkit as soon as I get that. If you guys have any ideas on what to add, and feel free to comment. Like I said before, tools are there to make our lives easier. So if you have any ideas that might make my life easier, please share it with me, and hopefully some of these tool ideas can make your lives easier as well.